Of the day, and the first one up, well, let's just talk about Hard Knocks that just was on last night. Now, this episode, it was good. Once again, it was good. Not as good as that first episode. I don't know if it was just because, we've gone so long without football, our first look at something football-wise, gauging our interest a little bit more, and then there was a lot of great Dak information in that episode, and a lot of just great plays overall. But this episode's still pretty decent, still solid, still watchable, still entertaining, and all that good stuff that we want to see while we're watching Hard Knocks. So let's just go over what our notes were that we were taking down as we were watching the episode yesterday. So here we go. First note up here, Mike McCarthy. Once again, we're just trying to truly figure out if this man is a good leader, if people buy into him, if he's respected with the coaches and the owners and the players and all that. We've kind of seen Jerry Jones kind of, I don't really know how to put it, but Jerry Jones let's just put it like this. We've seen Jerry Jones come down onto the field during practice sessions and ask Mike McCarthy, hey, what's going on with Dak? Early on, this was episode 2 or maybe even 1. I think it was episode 1, where Jerry Jones comes out on the field and he's like, why is Dak Prescott not playing? Why isn't he, working on the plays? Why is he, recovering? Why is he starting to get rehab? And that was kind of Mike McCarthy's decision. Hey, Dak, why don't you go get treated? You don't need to be on the field. You already know this. But Jerry Jones was like, why is Dak Prescott not practicing? And then the next thing we know, Dak Prescott's back out on the field, even though he can't throw, still running through all the plays. So we're still not really sure who's making the final decisions here in Dallas. But we did kind of see in yesterday's episode of Hard Knocks, Mike McCarthy, they had a little bit of a COVID mini scare / outbreak in the Cowboys facility. So Mike McCarthy in the coaches meeting, he was wearing a mask and he was telling all the coaches in the coaches meeting, hey, let's be smart about the mask. Let's wear our masks. And then they panned to a shot of all the coaches in that meeting, and there was about 4 coaches wearing a mask and everybody else isn't. So Mike McCarthy trying to lead by example, but all the other coaches aren't truly buying into the masks, wearing the masks around the facility. So, are people respecting Mike McCarthy? Are people buying into him? His own coaching staff wasn't listening to his own advice, and we're talking about Joe Philbin was one of the coaches that I saw not wearing the mask, the offensive line coach for this Cowboys team. So it's just once again, we're still not sure what Mike McCarthy is totality-wise as a coach. It's nothing great. Like we said, this is not a great coach, one of the best coaches of all time, of just what we're seeing, what's available to us, all the information and footage and all that. It just doesn't seem like Mike McCarthy truly earns and gets kind of, unfiltered respect by everybody on this team. So Mike McCarthy, folks, I don't know if this man is really that great as a coach. Nobody really respects him 100%. Nobody really buys into him 100%. Now, are there other coaches in this league that everybody buys into 100%? We don't know for certain. I would kind of say Bill Belichick potentially. I would say Sean Payton potentially. I would say possibly Andy Reid potentially, but we haven't, we don't have the cameras in their locker room. So just, from what we see on the outside, I would kind of say everybody buys into Billy B 100%, but we don't get the cameras on the inside. Truly unfortunate. So once again, Mike McCarthy, we're still not 100% sold on this man being a head coach, and the respect factor, folks, we didn't really see that. I mean, if you're telling your guys, hey, let's be smart about the masks. We don't want anybody to get COVID here, and you're trying to lead by example. Mike McCarthy was wearing a mask, and that's how you do it. You lead by example, and then re-emphasis by saying it to everybody, and nobody was really kind of buying into it. So that's how it opened up, folks. So make of it what you will, but that's Mike McCarthy. All right, what else we get here? All right, and once again, going back to the taunting penalty that's going to be kind of, outrageously called throughout this entire season. I mean, folks, it's going to be almost every week we're going to be talking about an egregious taunting penalty that ended up hurting a team. It's going to happen, folks, and it's going to happen a lot, and it's going to be very frustrating. But, once again, coaches, we heard it was the defensive line coach, I forget his name, the one with the accent that they highly focus on in Hard Knocks. He was kind of reiterating the same thing that we're saying on this show. That's why the taunting penalty is just so nonsense. That coach, the defensive line coach for the Cowboys, was like, hey, y'all have to make your own juice. Y'all have to make your own energy. I'm not going to be out there holding your hand, as, taking you step by step through the process when it's game day out on the field. You have to be pumped because it was hot in practice and everybody was like, oh, it's so hot. Oh, how can we practice? It's so hot. And they're all sweating and putting water all over themselves, dumping water, squirting water in their face. And, the defensive line coach was like, hey, why are we moping around? You better be ready to make your own energy. We have to get up to this high level of play where we are already 100% ready to rock. And, the defensive line coach, he was just not seeing it that day. So he's reiterating that you need to build up your own momentum. You need to build up your own juice to get you ready to rock in that game. And that's what the NFL deems taunting is, kind of just juicing yourself up. You hit off a nice 5-yard rush. Yes, go, baby. Let's go. Let's get big. And they're going to call taunting on that when you're just trying to build up your own momentum, build up your own juice, get everybody else kind of electrified on this team. So, we know coaches preach it, but once again, it was highlighted in Hard Knocks. So, of course, we're going to bring it up. You need to build up your own juice, your own momentum. Taunting, in quotes, taunting. It helps you do it. So, it's going to get called, folks. And once again, these players are being taught, being coached to go out and do this. Bill Belichick, the defensive line coach here for the Cowboys, they are telling their players, hey, get excited about big plays. Get excited about great plays, good plays, first downs, maybe even drive starting plays, obviously touchdowns and all scoring plays, but you need to get everybody on the same page on these plays and get everybody juiced up. So once again, this is coming from the coaches. This is not just, players being wild or acting wild or anything like that. They are being taught to do this. And now the refs want to keep throwing flags? It's going to be frustrating, folks, but hopefully we can get through it, and hopefully it doesn't affect the outcomes of games, and hopefully it doesn't affect the outcomes of our bets, because if we have money on the line and these refs want to throw penalty after penalty for taunting, we're going to have to take it up with Vegas, and it's not going to be pretty at that point, folks. So, once again, got to build up your own momentum, build up your own juice. All right. Now, next note up here, we get Jaquan Hardy, and we're going to check the cut list because we know, teams have been cutting down the rosters over the last 2 days, and that's kind of where it left off in Hard Knocks at the end of the episode. We'll definitely see that next week in Hard Knocks episode. But let's talk about Jaquan Hardy, the running back that's still kind of fighting for a spot. The number 2 running back kind of went down, and Jaquan Hardy, this was his opportunity to kind of seize the moment and be the next man up. And they I don't know how I feel about Jaquan Hardy. I don't know if I like him or don't like him, or if he truly understands what is going on, because the running backs coach was just kind of like, hey, do you understand what this moment is? You have the chance to kind of be the next guy up. You need to get in that work. And then we see Jaquan Hardy writing in his notebook, seize the moment or something like that. It's like, you really need to write that down. That's just not that's not, as soon as you hear that, you understand 100% what it means and is ready to rock. You need to make a note of, hey, seize the moment, seize the opportunity for the next man up. You need to write that down. And then we had Jaquan Hardy going out to a soul food place. And we haven't heard, Jaquan Hardy was silent in that running back meeting, that meeting room, where the coach was like, hey, this is your opportunity, seize it, because there's a lot of guys that don't take the moment, and then they're like, well, why did I get cut? Because you didn't see the moment. He's telling this to Jaquan Hardy, and Jaquan Hardy's just kind of sitting there, kind of nodding his head, writing down in his notebook, seize the moment, and that was it. He's not like, yes, coach, for sure, I'm definitely going to seize the moment, I'm going to do all that. He's silent as heck, and then the very next scene is him going out to some soul food place and ranting and raving. The man won't shut up about the food. So, I don't know how I feel about Jaquan Hardy, but then we saw him later in the preseason game, and he was kind of getting it done, and Zeke was kind of, cheering him along the sideline, hyping him up, amping him up. So that's great by Zeke, and that's, once again, points to the leadership We like to point out leadership that we see on Hard Knocks. We've seen Dak be, leader after leader after leader. We don't have to worry about him. We've been seeing Ezekiel Elliott be a leader on the sideline as well, these kind of last 2 episodes. And then we've also seen Demarcus Lawrence, the defensive edge rusher, defensive lineman for the Cowboys, once again being a leader on the sideline. We saw a little bit of it in episode number 3, and we saw more of it here in episode 4. So love the leadership here by these nice veterans, offensively, defensively. Dak Prescott, hyping up the defensive players as well, and Demarcus Lawrence hyping up the offensive players as well. So it's all, it's full team offense getting along with defense getting along with offense, truly being a family, truly being a team. So for that, we love seeing that. So Demarcus Lawrence looking great at that leadership position. Zeke Elliott typing up Jaquan Hardy on the sideline, so that's great. And then another thing that I liked on Jaquan Hardy is, so he's in the game, and it's they're trying to score, and he's like, we just need to score. I don't care who scores. I don't care if I score. We just need to score. So I love that kind of unselfish attitude by Jaquan Hardy. I don't think he got cut. We're going to look up those cuts in a minute after we're done going over the notes to see if that Azur Kamara man made it, Isaac Alicorn made it, and we'll check if Jaquan Hardy made it as well, the final team. Because those are kind of the 3 big players that Hard Knocks has been focusing and featuring these last couple of episodes, so we'll see if they made the final team. But yeah, I love that kind of unselfishness by Jaquan Hardy. I don't care who scores. We just need to score. Laying it all out on the line. And then also that kind of final drive, it was like 2 minutes left. They were already getting blown out. It was like 34-7 at that point. Already getting blown out. Not going to win the game. But Ben DiNucci, the quarterback, was still out there. Jaquan Hardy was still out there at the running back position. And Isaac Alicorn was out there on the offensive line. And they drove down. 2 minutes left. Meaningless for winning the game, but still, getting valuable reps and opportunities to prove yourself, and they went down and scored a touchdown. So real great, just everybody buying in. Jaquan Hardy truly seemed like he understood the message, even though he didn't really kind of vocalize that he understood the message, and was more kind of enthralled with the yams. He was saying he couldn't get over the yams. They were so gosh dang good. So he loves his food, but can't blame him there. So we got Jaquan Hardy. What else we got here? We got Micah Parsons. All right. Micah Parsons seeming to be an absolute great defender here for this Cowboys team, and probably is going to have a great rookie showing this year. But it's just his kind of overall, because there is 2 parts of football. Obviously, you have to have the athleticism and the natural just talent overall, but you also have to be mental and cerebral and understand the game and understand what players are giving you so you can attack, and then you can win that matchup if you just understand. And we kind of saw Micah Parsons' big brain IQ come through, and it was great. They were having kind of a team building event at Micah Parsons' house. A couple of the defenders over for his house to kind of, they were watching a preseason game, and they were eating food that his mom cooked, and they were playing Connect 4. And we saw Micah Parsons absolutely destroy, I think it was Leighton Vander Esch, the linebacker for the Cowboys, absolutely destroy him in Connect 4 over and over and over and over again. And Micah Parsons just kept saying, hey, you got to be thinking about 3 moves ahead. I'm thinking about my move, your move, and I'm ready to rock. And that's why he won. So Micah Parsons, yes, he's a great athlete, but he also has that big brain IQ that is needed to play at a high level and to be a great defender or just a football player in general. He's got that big brain IQ. So I love seeing that by Micah Parsons. And I can't wait to see what this man does defensively, because we've been seeing him, create turnovers all the time in preseason. Now we're starting to kind of see his mental side and his brain work. And, hey, he's thinking 3 moves ahead, 5 steps ahead. Hey, if you think you're going to use that move, Micah Parsons knows you're going to do that move, and he's going to counter that move, and then he's going to win, and he's going to either break up the ball or intercept the ball over the middle or force a fumble or recover the fumble, because he knows he's cerebral on the field. He knows how to get it done. So Micah Parsons destroying Leighton Vander Esch in Connect 4. It may not seem like nothing, but I'm telling you, the man's got some strategy. He understands just how things work and, moves. It's like chess. To be a grandmaster in chess, you must be thinking about 20 moves in front, and that's what Micah Parsons was doing. I know it's only Connect 4, but It's still Connect Four. It's still a game. It's still some competition. There is still some strategy. And once again, just building upon move on after move after move, thinking about those moves, your moves, my moves, thinking about that ahead. And he was beating his ass. He was beating his ass in Connect Four, folks. So watch out for Micah Parsons. We've seen the athletic side, and now we're seeing the big mental side that he had in episode number 4. It's fantastic. All right, next up here, Dak Prescott. Once again, this is it. This is going to be the last time we say it. We're not even going to be bringing it up because us bringing it up is still kind of talking about it, and we don't even want to talk about it at all. So here it is, last time. Here it is, for the final time. Dak Prescott's 100% gosh dang healthy, folks. Gosh dang, that man was out there throwing, feeling good. It was just a small segment, but Dak Prescott, he was on a pitch count in episode 3 that we saw, and then here, episode 4, no pitch count, letting it loose, rolling out of the pocket, throwing on the run, throwing deep, throwing short, throwing accurate as heck like he always gosh dang does, and Dak Prescott is 100% healthy. The shoulder injury is no longer a problem. It is no longer an injury. It is fully recovered. The ankle injury, it is 100% recovered. He's feeling 100% healthy. He can move 100%. He can throw on the run 100%. He is fine. Dak Prescott is 100% healthy. I don't care who says it. I don't care if Adam Schefter tweets out tomorrow, hey, I know it may seem like our Hard Knocks kind of frames it that Dak Prescott's healthy, but insider sources are saying that he could still be hobbled throughout this entire season. We're not buying it anymore, Shefty. It's done. It's over. He is fine. Dak Prescott is 100% healthy. This narrative is over. We do not need to carry it into the regular season. There will be other things to talk about. I promise we do not have to harp on this Dak Prescott injury anymore. He is fine. 100% fine. Looking fantastic. I can't wait to see this man in action, folks. This man was on pace to throw 6,000 yards last season. Oh, my goodness. Whoa, that first player to throw 6,000 yards. Ooh, folks, you are getting a permanent spot on this wall. So, Dak, if you want to seize that moment and get a permanent spot on the wall here for our canvases, go out and throw 6,000 yards like you were projected to do last season. We believe he can definitely do it this year, especially with that extra game. Damn. So Dak's looking good, folks. Dak is looking gosh dang good, and I can't wait to let him have it, let it rip here this regular season. It's going to be great. Woof. All right, what else we got? We got one more thing here, one last note. So Isaac Alicorn, the offensive lineman from Mexico, he ended up he ended up as a team captain for the final preseason game. And once again, Dak Prescott's leadership comes out when they're kind of in the locker room ready to go out onto the field to play that preseason game. Dak Prescott's kind of slapping up Isaac Alicorn, getting real excited for him. I think Isaac Alicorn kind of broke down the huddle at the very end, just kind of broke down the huddle at the very end in the locker room. And then Dak Prescott's, clapping, all smiles, cheering him on. So once again, just Dak Prescott being an overall great leader. This was a huge moment for Isaac Alicorn, a no name in this league, trying to make the team, the overall final 53-man roster. He gets the captain tag. Dak Prescott's happy for him, cheering him up because he knows it's a big moment. Final preseason game, final time to show it. Show your leadership on the huddle, in the breakdown. Show your leadership at the captain. Go out and win the coin toss, go out and, get it done on the field. And Isaac Alicorn kind of did all of that. And maybe Dak Prescott played a huge part in Isaac Alicorn's confidence, played up his confidence, and then he was able to kind of, do good in the game. So once again, just Dak Prescott being a great leader out here. It's coming through, folks. It's absolutely coming through. Oh, and then, obviously we have to talk about Dak Prescott. He's not just a great football player. This man is an inventor. The man's about to be a mogul here. The man's coming out with a pylon Prescott game, tailgate game, about to sell it for $40. You throw a little football at the pylon, you win, you're having fun, and it's Dak Prescott, getting rich off the idea. So, hey, the man is just overall great, folks. How can you not like Dak? Smart, financially literate, athletic, great at playing quarterback, leader as heck. Oh my God, can't praise Dak Prescott enough, folks. So that was kind of all of the notes that we have. So now that kind of final cuts are mostly out of the way. I think it is officially complete. All 53 men roster. I think it had to be cut down by yesterday by 5 o'clock. So now that we know all the cuts, let's see if our kind of Hard Knocks, the players that we were supposed to root for Hard Knocks, just because that's who HBO profiled throughout, multiple episodes. So let's see if those kind of three main players that HBO has kind of been filming, Isaac Alicorn, Azur Kamara, and Jaquan Hardy. Let's see if those three players made the final roster. So we have all the cuts here by the Cowboys. Let's see these players cut by the Cowboys. We have Anthony Hines, the third linebacker, cut. Unfortunate. We got Brennan, Eagles, wide receiver, cut. Unfortunate. Also never kind of even mentioned in Hard Knocks. How unfortunate. How unfortunate that you get cut, even though that you are on Hard Knocks and like filmed and all that. Or not even filmed. I mean, you weren't even filmed at all. They didn't even put you in the episode, any episode, and then you get cut. It's like, yeah, you weren't even a Cowboy. Were you on Hard Knocks? Oh, they didn't even show you. Oh, and you got cut? That's unfortunate. So far, not great here. What else do we got? We got Kyron Brown, cornerback, cut. We got Hunter Niswander, punter, cut. We got Lurim, Hajralua, kicker, cut. We get Steven Parker, safety, cut. We got Garrett Gilbert, quarterback, cut. Unfortunate. Dak's back, baby. We don't need no more quarterbacks on this team. Garrett Gilbert, you're out of here. Ben DiNucci, who definitely needed to be cut. I mean, this man, I don't want to disrespect this man, but Ben DiNucci is absolutely atrocious at quarterback. I'm sorry. This man is throwing pick after pick after pick in preseason, getting blown out. The Cowboys lost all four. They had an extra preseason game to try and win one, and they lost every single one of them. And Ben DiNucci was kind of a big reason. They were never able to move the ball at all. I want to say the most points they put up in preseason was like 14 points. Let me go over these games because Ben DiNucci was floundering big time. This was your moment. Obviously, there's no way that you can win the starting job over Dak Prescott, but still, you could have been a little bit more better to kind of get a second look somewhere else on a different team. But here's the Cowboys' points total throughout their entire preseason games this season, and Ben DiNucci playing hefty minutes in kind of every single one. So, preseason game number 1 against the Steelers, they put up 3 points. Against the Cardinals, they put up 16 points. Against the Texans, they put up 14 points. Against the Jaguars, they put up 14 points. What is that? Y'all are scoring like two scores every game? I mean, 16 points? It's like, what are we doing out here? So absolutely not good by Ben DiNucci. Truly unfortunate that he was cut, but it's truly deserved. So Ben DiNucci was out of there. Unfortunate. Who else do we get? We get Osiris Mitchell, wide receiver, cut. We get Jaquan Hardy, running back, cut. Oh, they cut Jaquan Hardy. Oh, man. Darn. Rex Specs. Jaquan Hardy has officially been cut. Unfortunately, didn't seize the opportunity. Didn't write down the note enough to kind of seize the opportunity. It seemed like he was playing pretty decent in that preseason finale. Let's get up his final rushing yards for preseason game number 3 here. Against the 4 against the Jags. Hardy had 9 carries for 26 yards. Ooh, 2.9 yards a carry. That is not good. And then the other running back, Brennan Knox, had 11 carries for 47 yards. That's 4.3 yards a carry. So, yeah, truly unfortunate. Jaquan Hardy is cut by the Cowboys, and we'll see that in episode number 5 coming up next week. So Jaquan Hardy, truly unfortunate. Ben DiNucci, Jaquan Hardy. Let's see if these other kind of players that they were focusing on this season made the team. All right, we get Eric Smith, offensive tackle, cut. We get Braylon Jones, offensive guard, cut. We get Deontay Burton, cornerback, cut. We get Brendan Knox, running back, cut. Oh, my God, they cut the other good running back. They are only focusing on Ezekiel Elliott. They don't need anybody else. Unfortunate. All right, we got Johnny Dixon, wide receiver, cut. We get Brandon Smith, wide receiver, cut. We get Austin Faulio, defensive tackle, cut. We get Tyler Cole, safety, cut. Rondell Carter, edge rusher, cut. So Isaac Alicorn made it, and Azu Kamara made it. I didn't think Azu Kamara was gonna make this final team, folks. He is kind of looking a little small out there. It does seem like he is an edge rusher, but it does kind of seem like he does kind of get thrown around a lot, shedded a lot. Can't really bull rush too well. He's got some good speed, which is good for an edge rusher, but you still need to be a little bit beefy down there. And I don't think Kamara's the beefiest, but he makes the final roster, so congratulations to him. Hopefully he can kind of continue getting better and all that. And same thing with Isaac Alicorn on the offensive line, making the team as well. So truly unfortunate by Jaquan Hardy. Cut, but well done by everybody else for making the final team. So that's Hard Knocks, folks. Our review on episode number 4, and we will be back next week for episode number 5. Cannot wait. I think that's going to be the last and final episode. So we'll see how it all goes down, and we'll get our final look at what this Cowboys team overall is. So that was Hard Knocks from last night, folks.